James Walkinshaw is a Democrat from Virginia. He joins me now. And just point of fact, I know that's Pete Aguilar talking about it's a Republican shutdown. Just the way we have always covered shutdowns is the party that is voting against allowing a clean vote on the continuing resolution that's the party that's behind the shutdown. In this case, it is Senate Democrats refusing to vote for a clean CR. Now, I know that there's the reason that you want Republicans to include extending the Obamacare subsidies. I get it. But this is a Democratic shutdown.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that the CR is clean. The CR that passed the House would lock in the devastating health care cuts, not just allow the ACA premium tax credits to expire, but it would lock in devastating cuts to research, cancer research, significant disease research. So I don't think it's a clean CR. I obviously wasn't in Congress for the March CR. I wouldn't have voted for that one either because I don't think that was clean.
So you represent nearly 60,000 federal employees. You represent a district in Northern Virginia. What do you say to them? They're not getting paid today. And I don't know what they're saying to you, but I'm sure some of them are thinking, I get it, you want to fight for stuff, but this is just like my livelihood.
Yeah, well, what I hear from the federal employees that I represent, and I represent 50 to 60,000 who are employed. I represent thousands who have been fired by the Trump administration over the last 9 months. They are fed up with what the Trump administration has done to them. And they see this Trump Republican shutdown as another in the long list of assaults that they've experienced from this administration. So they want us to fight. They're hopeful that in the ultimate deal that comes from this, we can secure some protections for federal workers to prevent Russ Vought from illegally refusing to spend dollars that Congress has appropriated, for example.
He's using Russ Vought, the OMB chair, Office of Management and Budget chair, is using the opportunity of the shutdown to try to fire 10,000 additional federal workers.
He's tried, and we beat him in court. So far the courts have said what we've said all along, that those firings during the shutdown were illegal. I think the law is crystal clear on that.
Is there any prediction you might have about when this is going to end? Do you think that there is going to be some sort of... I see no indication that Trump or Johnson, Speaker Johnson, are going to acquiesce to anything you're demanding.
Well, I'll give you an indication. This week, we have seen, and you have reported, others have reported, a lot more conversations internally among Republicans as to how they're going to deal with this health care issue, right? They are feeling the heat from their constituents on the ACA premium tax credit, so they're starting to figure out what kind of package maybe could get enough Republican support. My concern is anytime congressional Republicans start putting their heads together about health care, they come up with more ways to take health care away from working families. But they are feeling the heat and starting to have those conversations. What they should do is show up back in Washington and have bipartisan conversations about how we can do that.
Congressional redistricting usually happens every 10 years at the zero. So 1990, 2000, 2010. It's an extraordinary time right now because Texas has decided that they're going to redistrict. That has caused something of an arms race of Democrats in California now talking about it, Republicans in Indiana, Missouri, and on and on and on. The Associated Press is reporting that the House of Delegates in Virginia is going to meet to talk about redistricting in Virginia. What can you tell us about that, and do you support it?
So that'll be up to the General Assembly. I've had no conversations with the General Assembly leaders about that. I learned of it in the media yesterday. I will say I support nonpartisan redistricting, as most Democrats do. But the reality is that Donald Trump has commanded Republicans in red states to try to rig the maps in those states because he knows he's losing the midterm elections. And Democrats in blue states or blue-leaning states can't unilaterally disarm. So I think in Virginia, we have to keep that option on the table. We have a complicated process to get there, and it would have to go before the voters. So just like there's a small d democratic process in California that will take place, if Virginia moves forward, there would be a small d democratic process, and the voters could decide based on what Trump is doing across the country.
Congressman James Walkinshaw, a Democrat from the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Another one of President Trump's nominees is under